evening, my name's Brobix Jambles.
I'm Blair's Derek.
And you're watching two drunk Aussies discuss fucking novels. Yeah, so we should just tell people now that we've filmed 2 videos in a row. This is our 3rd video. We've probably been sitting here for an hour.
We've been drinky.
Yeah, Mark's been working a 15-hour fucking shift.
Straight after work.
Terrible hospitality job. And now we're talking about The Mandalorian. So let's do it. We open with like a Star Wars scrapyard. Bill Burr's character is straight up introduced, and let's just talk about Bill Burr for a moment.
Fuck, how good Bill Burr.
He has a Boston accent. He's basically Bill Burr. He's funny as fuck, and he's in Star Wars.
But it's not like for instance, in fucking Solo when Emilia Clarke is in it, where it's just like, that's Emilia Clarke. Even though it's Bill Burr, like, it's Bill Burr, but it's also... It's a Star Wars character.
I love it. It works. He has a Boston accent. It makes no sense. He's just basically Bill Burr.
What's wrong with Boston accent if all the Imperial cunts can have British accents?
Yeah, that's true. It makes no sense, but I mean, it's a movie or a television show.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I love it. I love that they like leaned into it even more so. Mm-hmm. It seems like.
Hey, you gonna tell me where you're taking me? Hello?
We're both massive fans of Burr. His comedy specials are amazing. I watched him on Rogan the other fucking day.
So he did another one, did he?
Yeah, just recently. Yeah, so great to just get those really deep insights into his life.
Dude, I fucking love him so much. He's so good.
Yeah, and he's so open and honest about like all these like problems with anger and like struggling with that, and his family and his wife and his kids and being a comedian in the industry and all that jazz.
Yeah, no fucking oath. I feel like even like he still plays off the comedy in his role too, but it's not too like he's not an idiot.
Yeah. It wasn't out of place, and it should have been out of place,
but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna tell me where we're going? Normally people tell me where we're going.
Yeah. Immediately it starts. I know there are moments throughout this episode where he was Bill Burr.
Yeah. I know, man, but it worked.
Yeah. So Cara Dune comes and gets him.
It's like in Breaking Bad too. He just pulls it off.
Yeah. 2 actors from Breaking Bad too, as well as old Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Carlos Espanol.
Oh man, I don't. He's fucking Gustavo Fring.
Yeah.
That's what I call him.
But yeah, this episode, first episode without Grogu in it ever, and first episode with 2 people from Breaking Bad in it. There you go. We're throwing out facts.
And he fucking it was fucking. Even though no Grogu, I still wasn't like, oh no, baby Yoda.
It felt natural.
I'm sure Ella will.
Well, she won't be doing a review this week. Which is fine, because I'm doing too many fucking videos. So Cara Dune comes and gets him, and Boba has repainted his suit.
Originally I was like, but then I'm also like, wow, I've never seen Boba's suit freshly painted. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, at first I really didn't like it. I really liked how he looked in the previous episode.
Well, it's not like they just did it new for. It's like he got his armor and he's like, I haven't had this in so many years.
And it's fucked.
And he's like, it's always been fucked.
Yeah, but it's more fucked.
I haven't had this in so many years. I'm gonna fucking paint it. So I'm sitting there thinking when I'm watching it, when the fuck did he get a chance to do this? It was like, oh, well, what are they gonna do while fucking he's on his way? Yeah. Might as well fucking paint my armor.
Yeah, so I thought about the in-world explanation, and it makes perfect sense. He gets his armor, it's all fucked up, and he's like, I'm gonna repaint it. And it was still a little bit janky.
It still had like the indentation.
It still had all the dents, and it looked like there was a shot I seen where the light was reflecting off of it. It looked like he just painted over the old paint, like he hadn't sanded it down.
Back.
Yeah, so it was still janky, which I love. So at first I'm like, ugh, I don't like this. I like Boba from the previous episode.
I was the opposite.
He was fat, he was smoking a billy, his armor was fucked.
Well, I was like, okay.
He was beating his wife, but she didn't make him eggs.
I guess I was a bit, but that only lasted for a second, and then I looked at it again. I'm like, actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm happy to see some new, fresh Boba Fett armor, because that's what it would have looked like when you originally painted it.
Yeah, absolutely. And my second watch through, I'm like, okay, I've gotten used to it. I like it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were this other guy.
just his presence. I don't know what it was, but he was carrying the Boba Fett. I know he did last time, but him just standing there.
Yeah.
So intimidating.
Yeah, Tamura Morrison is incredible. He's totally pulling off Boba, and I'm so happy for him as an actor because you know he did Once for Warriors, which was like an independent film which made him explode. He did Star Wars, and he didn't do anything for ages. He was in the Aquaman movie. I didn't watch that bullshit. And yeah, now I'm happy for him to like be on this massive fucking show, be reprising this role, and it was great to see.
I'm sure he's fucking happy too.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I mean, he's never played Boba Fett before.
He's never played Boba Fett. I mean, he did his voice, but that's a far cry from what he's doing now.
Yeah, fucking nice.
It was great to see Slave One like do some shenanigans as well.
And shit, seeing the interior and shit again.
Yeah, I was never a ship guy. Like people always talk about Star Trek, and I always talk about the ships, and it's just like different people. I guess I've always been more like into narrative and characters. I'm like a people person. Not in real life. I fucking hate people. But as far as stories go, I really love like the idea of like a character arc and all that. So I never really got into the ships thing.
But Slave One's been there enough now.
It's so iconic and amazing.
Razor Crest.
Yeah.
You were definitely when it fucking got
I was. And yeah, I think The Expanse actually got me into ships a lot more. They go into the mechanics of gravity and all these different ships and how physics works and stuff. And yeah, I was thinking about how Slave One works, because Boba Fett lays down in the seat, right? And it's like down that way, and then as it flies, it moves up way. So he's sitting, and then it showed them all like sitting in just normal chairs. They weren't laying down, but it showed like everything rotating.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like in a spherical thing within the ship, that I guess like a gyroscope that rotates.
Yeah.
As the ship.
Which makes sense the way it functions.
Yeah, it was just interesting. I found myself like analyzing ships all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm never normally doing that. I'm normally analyzing characters.
Well, I don't know. I fucking love Slave One.
Slave One, I mean, gee,
Like,
as far as iconic ships go, I mean, when I was a kid, I always wanted it, and I should probably buy it now that I'm an adult and actually have money, kind of. The Slave One Lego thing, that was like, it wasn't the Millennium Falcon.
I always wanted the AT-AT.
Yeah, every Christmas looked at that. I'm like, Mom, can you spend $100 on Lego? She's like, get fucked, cunt. You be getting this cigarette butt and smack around the ears.
In the like few presents she got or whatever, probably would have easily equaled what that would have been. It's like, can I just get that instead of like these other presents?
Yeah.
And everyone in the family just put in and give me that.
My birthday is like 3 days before Christmas too, so I always got like...
You fucking drew the short straw there, mate.
Yeah, it made me more humble. So they go down to this planet. I forgot the name. I think it's come up in the show before. And basically they're trying to infiltrate this Imperial facility to get the code for Moff Gideon's ship.
Because Bill Burr's character used to be Imperial.
Yeah. And none of them can go down because they're all recognized within the database of the Imperials, because they've all been fucking up Imperials for ages. So Mandy, and this is great. This is a great fucking story beat. And this is what you've been talking about.
How much he cares about.
He becomes Piccolo. He doesn't care about his culture. Well, he does. But he cares more about Grogu than his culture, than his race, than his religion, than the family that like brought him in as a child and saved him from like being murdered. He throws all of that aside for Grogu. He's like, here, Cara Dune, take my fucking best armor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna do anything I can to save this little green motherfucker. And I loved it. I'm like,
yeah, it was fucking perfect. He's Piccolo, man.
He's Piccolo. He's beating the shit out of Gohan. He's kidnapped a child and he's just flogging the guts out of him and leaving him to try.
Throwing him at a fucking cliff and shit.
Yeah. And I loved Burr's fucking little snide comments here. Like, there was so many little comments at Mandy, like, oh, how humiliating. And I just kept on getting it.
Well, he's like, oh, like, I mean, the only way you can do it is if you took off your mask. So it's kind of like, I want to see you without your mask, you know?
Yeah, just poking at him. And it was amazing. There was a comment too. He's like, well, you know, we all bend our rules when the rubber hits the road. It's like, are you not allowed to take off your Mandalorian armor, or are you not allowed to show your face? Because you know they're two different things.
They are too.
They are two different things, and and it was so great.
And he just
I
didn't
laughed
say
so
anything. And he brought up so many things like, we're all fucking same. You know, it's just different views. It's like, how's your view of the Mandalorian any different from the Empire? Blah blah blah. I was like, I mean, if it came from anyone else's mouth, I don't think it would mean quite as much. But since it's Bill Burr, and I don't know, I always everything Bill Burr says just connects with me.
That's fair enough.
And then it's just like,
Yeah, Empire, New Republic. It's all the same to these people. Invaders on their land is all we are.
Yeah, so in like episode 6 of season 1, he was like a renegade fucking like bounty hunter. In this, he had a whole bunch of character. He's talking about like the nuance of the galaxy. They're moving away from that like good versus evil, you know, the typical Star Wars thing. Talking about different cultures, like if you're brought up in Mandalore, you're a Mandalorian. If you're brought up on Alderaan, you believe in those values. And it's basically just like we're all people just trying to deal with what we got given from birth.
once again, Boba Fett's line, or Jango Fett's line, I'm just a man trying to make his way in the universe. But
yeah.
That's the thing too, in that episode with Bill Burr, it's understandable he didn't have this point of view because he already knew what the fuck was going on in that episode, what he was going to do, and what was happening, so there was no point in getting to that way he is now. This time, he has no reason to fuck with me.
Yeah. And also, like, he's been through this thing, and he's served on the Empire, and he has a heavy heart about all the stuff he went through, and he's trying to, he has a character arc, right? It's writing 101, it's simple, it's effective,
and
it works.
It almost works better, the fact that it's the second appearance that he's that you go through.
Oh,
this.
yeah, absolutely. And it's Bill Burr.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So he feels bad about all the stuff he did when he was working for the Empire, and throughout this episode, we'll get through all the story beats. He rectifies that, and
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Mandy's in his suit, which is hilarious. They're driving the thing, and
You can tell he hates it though, huh?
Yeah. And Burr's like, giving him the little comments.
Yeah.
Like,
He doesn't bother wearing the mask. I'm like, oh, dude. Wear the fucking mask.
Yeah.
You're literally going on about how they might recognize you. Wear the fucking mask.
Yeah, I think that was just so Bill Burr could get his face in the show.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Pedro Pascal later, because that's a can of worms.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's this great action sequence on this truck. They ramp up the tension and suspense when over the comm. You hear all these other ships like get
and see
destroyed.
the explosion.
Yeah. It was almost like comic book, but at the same time it's
Like,
still ramped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got massive Indiana Jones vibes from this fucking truck chase.
No, before that though, when they go past all those fucking civilians.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're wearing the same clothes the pirates are wearing. But the pirates are like a different race.
What pirates?
The pirates who are attacking the fucking thing that you're talking about, the chase scene.
Oh,
They're wearing the
okay.
same clothes as the civilians.
Yeah, but in the story, they're meant to be different culture.
I don't know, are they? That's the thing, we don't know. I thought they were wearing masks and they were just them trying to be anonymous while taking down this thing.
Okay.
But then watching their faces move and she's like, okay, no, they're just aliens.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Maybe it's like, that entire culture within that planet has a similar fashion because they're all on the same planet. Or maybe it's just like, a budgetary. I get that would be an in-world explanation. The out-of-world explanation would be like, television show, low budget. They're using what they fucking have.
It could have just been people like their fucking guys were.
Yeah, so they go through that. And that's what Burr makes his comments about, this not being... The rebellion is good and the empire is bad, good versus evil. It's like a nuanced, complex discussion about morality and geographical locations and politics. And then we get this great action set piece, as always.
Oh, so good. Although I'm betting Mando missed his fucking Beskar armor at that point.
Yeah, which was kind of great to see him do all these stuff. Yeah, I got massive Indiana Jones vibes from it, of course, because, Indy fighting on the tank, Indy fighting on the truck. This is an Indiana Jones trope, him fighting on a moving vehicle. And once again, they did the Indiana Jones thing where, Din Djarin isn't Superman.
He's so fucking skilled, though.
He's amazing, even without his Beskar. But, he's outmatched by, 20%. By the end, he's like, oh.
Yeah, dude, when he sees more of them come, you feel.
Yeah.
You feel it's like,
he defeats them, then they come again. Then he defeats them, then more of them come, and he's done by this one. He's wrecked. And it was great to see him go through all these moments with his Beskar. There's a moment where he blocks a thing, and you see him, and he's like, oh. Fuck.
Yeah, because it's not the Beskar.
Yeah. That shit operates completely differently. He still kicks ass. He's still amazing.
Because Stormtrooper armor sucks.
It's not Beskar.
No.
You can smash the shit out of that with a gaffy stick we've seen in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Great action set piece.
Although, and then as that scene came to a conclusion, like, it was crazy to have TIE fighters come and rescue him and think, fuck yeah, TIE fighters.
The Empire.
It was a completely different feeling.
Yeah, it was really kind of trying to throw off the normal status quo.
It flew with what Bill Burr was saying. Perfectly. These are just guys.
Yeah,
who happen
absolutely.
to be following that. They're getting their paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not all evil. Grand Moff Tarkin is evil, but fucking TK521.
Gideon's obviously evil. I feel like the higher up you get in the Empire, you have to be evil.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely, I
guess.
guess.
As a fucking grunt though, you don't need to be evil.
No, you're getting paid 35 grand a year.
Enough to shoot cunts.
Yeah. So yeah, they get to this base, and I found it funny. Star Wars original trilogy, like Lucas's conception of it was influenced massive by like spaghetti westerns and Akira Kurosawa films, but World War II was a massive influence on it. Like the dog fights and the warfare and like vampire, like obvious Nazi allegory. And yeah, it kind of shifted for me into like Inglourious Bastards or like Where Eagles Dare with Clint Eastwood and I forgot the guy's name. I actually wrote it down. He does the voice for War of the Worlds. You know that War of the Worlds play you're into?
What, the journalist?
Yeah, Richard Burton. Yeah. There's this film.
Give me a second. I probably would have thought of that.
Nah, I beat you, bro. That's 10 points for me.
You haven't written down, you filthy cunt.
I beat you, bro. It's 10. Yeah, so World War II films and iconography were a massive influence on the original trilogy. And yeah, I got a lot of vibes from that in this. Tarantino, when he made Inglourious Bastards, he talked about Where Eagles Dare. It's basically like a World War II movie where like Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton put on these Nazi uniforms and they like integrate into the Nazis. But it's like an English movie, so everyone just speaks English.
Did you say Tim Burton?
Did I?
I think so.
I'm fucking 8 years deep, bro. Quentin Tarantino. Jesus Christ. Did I really say Tim Burton?
You may not have. You'll know in editing if you didn't.
Okay. Quentin Tarantino, who made...
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Thank you for watching. No, we're not done. I'm just saying, I'm glad you tuned in for this.
We do appreciate it, but we are a few beers in there.
Quentin Tarantino talked about Inglourious Bastards, and one of the main films he was influenced on was Where Eagles Dare, where basically Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton, they put on these Nazi uniforms and they infiltrate.
Grazie.
Yeah. They infiltrate the Nazis, but like it's a 70s war movie, so the Nazis speak English. And it's like you're missing out on one of the great moments of tension, which is like the language barrier. And yeah, that movie is very much about these people wearing the uniforms and integrating this thing. One of my all-time favourite scenes is Michael Fassbender when the whole gig is pulled up and he's like, well, lad, I hope you don't mind if I go out speaking the Kings.
There's a place reserved in hell for those who do not finish a fine bottle of scotch.
I love Tarantino. I love Michael Fassbender. That's all amazing. And yeah, I very much got like World War II, 70s movies vibes from this sequence.
Yeah.
I used to serve under him.
Will he recognize you?
I don't know. I was just a field operative, but I'm not taking the chance. It's over.
Let's just do this quick, or we can get out of here.
They go in, Burr recognizes the guy, I wrote his name down, he's a great character actor.
It was tense. Then, as soon as you knew, everyone's going like, yeah, congratulations, you're like, oh, fuck.
That's not what you want.
They're trying to go for the fucking, quiet
stealth
vibe. Yeah. Stealth, that's the word I was going to think of.
So Richard Brake, who was in Mandy and Batman and Doom, I recognised his face, and then I looked up his movies. I'm like, none of these movies really mean anything to me, but I think he's been in so many movies that just everyone knows his face.
Yeah.
Why? My designation is transport co-pilot.
No, son. What's your TK number?
Yeah, so they're trying to infiltrate the Empire. Mandy goes over to this console and
yeah, dude, Bill Burr's like, I'm not fucking doing it. I worked under that cunt. I'm not fucking doing it.
The gig's up.
He didn't fucking remember him anyway.
He didn't remember anyway, yeah. The gig's up. And then, fucking Din is like, I'm done.
He takes off his mask and everything, which is in a moment when Bill Burr looks up, he's like, holy shit. You know?
Can I just say, they cover up this guy's face every week. And he is a handsome man.
He's a fucking handsome man.
He's a beautiful man. When he took off that helmet, I was
like... You killed her! You raped her!
Yeah. That's what he's
Old watermelon head.
Old watermelon head. He's always going to remember for that and this. Yeah, he takes off his helmet. Grogu was more important to him than
This
anything.
was a way better scene to see his face than in the first season where he's all fucked up.
Yeah.
and,
I like that, though.
against-
I liked how in that, the first season, the reveal wasn't like glorious and epic. It was
he was fucked
he looked
up.
like dog shit.
Yeah.
Here he was all like,
He was just normal, but he wasn't like, posing or anything. He was just getting his face scanned.
yeah,
He
yeah.
tried to scan it without it too.
Yeah,
He
just
gave it a
someone.
Which shows how much it means to him.
Yeah, and then we got this great conversation with Burr and this evil general.
Let's go for a drink.
Yeah, it's the Inglourious Bastard scene, right? So they sit down, it's super tense, they're having a discussion, they're trying to sneak out, and Burr just can't help himself.
What, with his fucking, how he just changes the subject?
Yeah.
Starts going
He brings
on
up
about-
Operation Dumbo Drop.
Operation Cinder.
Mm.
Do you know what that's from, or am I going to have to burst some knowledge?
You're gonna have to burst some knowledge.
Okay, so on Star Wars Battlefront 2, the main story, Operation Cinder was a incendiary. Fucking what's the word? It's a plan that Emperor Palpatine had if he was to die. So that way the Empire and everyone gets fucked over by the ship. It's basically a plan which the whole Empire was kind of totally against.
Yeah.
Where they set up satellites on Imperial worlds. So you got civilians supporting the Empire, Imperial stormtroopers, officers all on the planet. They set up satellites around the world and basically just shoots this shit into the planet, which basically turns the planet into a massive ball of molten lava, wiping everyone off the planet. He set one up for Naboo. He set one, which is his own planet, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
like,
true.
So many worlds. Basically turns the planet's whole into like chaos. Before it turns to molten, there's like storms raging, cyclones fucking just destroying the planets, which is what turned. Remember I told you in Battlefront 2 they turned against the Empire was because of Operation Cinder. So it's this huge thing. So when they brought this up in this, I was like, that's okay. So Bill Burr's character was part of Operation Cinder. I totally get where he's coming from.
That's
because
great.
there was massive moments where it's like, but there's so many, there's like thousands of Imperials on that planet, and you're just going to wipe them all out for no reason except for the fact the dead Emperor is telling you to do so. It's
So
a contingency plan.
Contingency.
There we go.
Yeah, so I didn't get any of that. It still all worked perfectly fine, but that's amazing. Once again, the Mando is interjecting all these really obscure, like, video game references,
Dude, just
and
video game references,
holiday special, and
so many things.
wowie.
Yeah, bravo. Like, I was like, holy shit, and I can understand, like, you could feel.
Burr was great in this. He
Yeah.
was, like, almost, like, tearing up. If you go back and, like, rewatch it, like, he's super emotional. And the guy's talking about, it's not about freedom, it's about control. And Burr just fucking shoots him.
Are you fucking kidding me? All those people, they're dead.
And Dean is like, what?
He's like, we're trying to be stealthy here. But he's like, alright, fuck it.
Bang. Yeah, well, his whole arc in this episode is, I'm done with the Empire. I'm gonna, like, try to redeem all the dark actions I did.
But now it makes sense why he's done with the Empire, right? Yeah, so it was made a big deal because of Operation Cinder. This is going back years, so there's probably a whole lot more to it that I don't remember.
Yeah.
To the Empire.
But yeah.
Yeah, we get a great, like, gag moment too with, like, a stormtrooper with his, like, tray when Burr shoots the guy. He's like, what?
Yeah, poor cunt.
Even Din's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, what the fuck just happened?
We get a little fight. It's great. We got fucking Fennec and Cara Dune backing him up with sniper rifles.
Dude, I love the part where he's like, you never took your mask off, sort of thing. I never saw your face.
Oh, even before that, when the evil whatever officer, I don't know his particular rank, he comes and he starts talking to Din. He's like, what's your designation? And then Bill he's stumbling. He's asking for his TK number.
Supposed to do at that point?
He doesn't know anything about TK numbers. He's like, I'm a driver. And Bill saves the day. It's amazing. And then here, he's like, you didn't take your helmet off. We won't talk about it. He looks away as he gives him the helmet and he puts it on and like.
Yeah, we were beautiful character moment.
Absolutely. We got a great action sequence. Slave 1 comes down and picks him up, and then it drops one of those fucking...
Yes! Yes, got a little surprise.
What are they called? I normally know it, but I'm way too drunk.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. All I know is he uses in episode 2.
Seismic charges. Yeah, so yeah, this is one of the great moments of episode 2.
It even did the whole no sound.
Yeah, like it sucks the sound out. Like.
As soon as I saw it get, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Damn it.
Boy, do you reckon it's the same 2 TIE fighters which saved the day earlier?
Yeah, probably. They were the good guys and they're the bad guys.
And then they just got wiped
It's
out.
so quickly.
Fuck them up, eh?
Yeah. So the sequence where
Words of Miss Bitters, they were nothing. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. It is him, the teacher.
Oh, okay. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah,
I haven't even watched all the episodes.
Oh.
But it is great. Yeah, the ending scene where Kara let Bill go was a bit heavy-handed for me. You kind of knew what was happening.
I'm sorry, could they not have dropped him off on another planet instead of just leaving him there?
Yeah, you don't want to leave him there. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, the way they handled it was a little bit schmaltzy for me. That's probably my only criticism.
I actually agree with you. Like, I'm like, look, just drive him somewhere here. He's still stranded there, and he just like.
Well, just make it less cliche.
He didn't wear his fucking mask in there. If they see him, he's fucked.
Yeah, take him off that planet. Yeah, it was just executed
and,
a little bit.
Not looking at him
cliche.
and everything, and
and the music.
No one's watching.
Normally the music is amazing, and it was, but it was just a little bit too much of like a trope, too cliche. And then Mandy sends a fucking message to Moff Gideon and goes full Piccolo.
That was intense, man.
It's like, brah! I'm gunning for ya.
Can you imagine if he started off by saying, brah?
I would be like, and anyone who wasn't Australian would be like, what?
Yeah, it was an interesting move because she could have gone for stealth, but he chose not to.
That was an interesting move. And this was an interesting, episode 7 too. I thought this would be like part of the main conflict to end this series. I don't know if it's going to end on a cliffhanger.
You thought that this was going to be, 7 and 8 would have been kind of like a 2-part.
Yeah. They were on season 1, but not here. Yeah, it was it was getting the information from Moff Gideon's ship and like a great character arc for Bill Burr's character. I never expected that to be episode 7, the second last episode.
Yeah, and
I really hope episode 8 is like an hour and 7 minutes.
We'll find out. But it was an.
And I hope it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's fine. It's interesting, that whole thing, because I think there was a point in this episode where he figured out how important Grogu is.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once he was taken, he's like, okay.
With the face and everything, like mask.
Fuck this Jedi thing. And then fuck the temple.
I gotta respect Gustavo Fring, Moff Gideon.
yeah.
Because the acting, he genuinely seemed like he had fear in his eyes. Like he was like, okay, because he's been defeated once by Mando.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
He didn't say a single word. It's like, oh, I got a transmission. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It was genuine fear, and I'm like, you gotta respect the actor for that. He portrayed that without saying a single word.
And now Mandy's assembling the crew, and he's like,
he's so gonna get Bo-Katan. He has to, surely.
Well, yeah. The thing with the Darksaber, it seems like way too much of a
leading straight to it.
Yeah.
And they didn't announce a Bo-Katan series, so it's got to be in this one.
Yeah.
Unless it's in the whole Republic thingy, but I doubt it. Mandalorians aren't really Republic.
I mean, I have no idea what that show is going to be.
No.
But we will find out. So yeah, I mean, in conclusion, it wasn't what I expected from episode 7.
It was one of my favourite episodes of the series, and of the season. And don't get me wrong, every episode's been fucking amazing.
That's true.
Especially this season. There's not been a bad episode this season.
Season 2's been.
Yeah. You know this whole hit and miss thing? This counts like a home run every fucking time.
Yeah. Bo was amazing, great character. I really love what they've done with Mandy here. You've been screaming out for 3 episodes in a row. He needs to be Piccolo!
Yeah, and he's fucking Piccolo, man.
In this episode.
Next episode, he's got to be wearing Piccolo's fucking cape.
Just kidnaps Gohan and gets about Grogu. Beating the shit out of him in a park. Don't tell your mother about this. Alright, good night.
Good night.
Oh, that was good.
That was some really good review.